as I said last week, drawing is super important if you are interested in getting it accurate as possible, right? Obviously. So we had about a week. I know everybody's schedules may vary. So I'm going to take a look today at how everybody's doing. Basically, I don't want to force anybody to do anything, but if you are satisfied and say, I did as much as I can on the drawing, I'm not going to do any more, then it's okay. It's your painting. So I'm not going to enforce anything, but we still got time, and it is a good idea to make sure the drawing is pretty decent, right? Okay, so and I think most of you, I might have one or two more to do because they came in a little bit later, but if some of you may need for me to do those corrections on the computer by overlaying it, then I can do that and send it to you in a few minutes. You can still do that. But you know, I thought about another way. There's two other ways that we can get things done. Raise your hand if you've heard of Vermeer, Jan Vermeer. Oh yeah, I know, Addis knows, and Paul. Well, you know that he used a camera oscura, which is kind of like projecting. So you can actually project if you want to. A lot of professionals project. However, it's just not a good idea to just only rely on a projector, because as an artist, you do want to learn how to draw and not just use a projector as a crutch all the time. But it can get you out of a pinch. Norman Rockwell, I'm sure you heard of Norman Rockwell. He projected all the time. Anyways, that's another safety net if you have a projector of some sort. Another method is the grid. The grid is pretty good too. So that's basically, it takes some time to lay some vertical lines evenly spaced out, and then some horizontal lines. And then of course you want to find out how many are across, how many are going down. And then you do the exact same thing on your picture with an overlay. Because maybe if you do it, maybe the non-technology way, you can get like a transparent overlay, like a mylar, or you know, a plastic sheet over it. But if you do have access to like computer Photoshop, you can do it digitally, put it right over, and like that. So you can do that too. Anyways, that's another possibility. So I encourage you to work on getting the drawing pretty good, because from here on out, we're going to be just painting. Now, it doesn't mean that as you paint that you can't do corrections. You can do corrections. You can always modify, fix things as you go. Okay, so that's all I have. And then, so once the drawing is done, as a reminder, you can put a fixative over it, go outside to do it, so it's not harmful to your health by breathing that indoors. And then you can start with putting the tones over it, and take it from there. You can use a little bit of, as a reminder, it's mostly a wash. You can have a little medium in it too, and go over it. And these are the colors that I recommend is raw sienna. And then if you look at that Rembrandt painting very carefully, you see that not all of the underpainting is exactly the same. So some of it, the lighter areas, is kind of a goldish color, and then it shifts into more of a darker and a little more reddish. So burnt sienna could be added there, not replaced, but added into the raw sienna. And then as it gets more into the corners, into the darks, you can even put some burnt umber there, or burnt sienna. Sorry, burnt sienna. Wait a minute, I always get confused with those. Right here. Burnt sienna, burnt umber, yes. And then raw sienna. Okay, so yeah, I'd like to now take a look at everybody's painting to see how it's coming along. and I'm going to be, you can see I worked on mine. So yeah, that's what I was saying. When you do your underpainting or the monochrome, be conscious of tonal differences. So like that is lighter than this. That is darker than this. So trying to establish a relationship. And like I was saying here in the corner, then you can use some of that burnt umber with a little bit of black, because Rembrandt used black a lot, and so forth. And just do a little bit at a time. You don't have to rush. You probably can't get this effect in one shot. Probably a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe, as it dries in layers. It's just a general rule that start on the thin side and then you start laying your paint a little bit thicker over that.
Okay.
Not the other way around.
Mhm.
A question about
Question with Gary, it's similar. Can you, as we go along, give us some principles on how to mix?
Yeah.
Whether to add the color to the medium or, in proportions, something like that.
Sure. In fact, today I decided I'm gonna have now that my iPad is working better. I got my little a little palette here.
Yay!
And I'm gonna be just putting the colors here as I work. Okay.
Nice, that's good.
Yeah, I'm glad my iPad is cooperating today. It is gonna cover my reference a bit, but I don't care because I'm gonna be looking at my other screen with actually better color. Okay.
I have a question. When you do your painting 10 minutes here and there, where do you put your brushes afterwards? You don't wash them every time, right?
No, I'm a little lazy about that. But anyways, I just like the convenience. I like the convenience of the terpenoid natural. It's just in a bottle here. Look. Oh, wait a minute. I wish I could show it to you. Oh yeah, here. I just put it in a bottle. And of course, the pointy brushes, I don't let sit there because they'll get damaged. But so I just dip them in and put them flat on my palette. The ones that are, flatter like this, I just let them soak there. I can pull them out if I want to. Anyways, I just lay them flat on my glass palette that is right in front of my canvas. And then I can always, when I'm ready to paint though, I got to make sure I rinse it, because I don't want that on my canvas. Because if it does, it'll start eating up my canvas paint because it's pretty strong.
You rinse it with solvent?
Yeah, I have a little bottle of solvent. And on that note, it's probably a good idea to have some kind of like a cap over your solvent, because even though it's odorless and all that, you just don't want fumes. So if you can have some kind of bottle with a cap on it, would be good.
You use lavender brush cleaner, right?
For the cleaning of the brushes. So here is our painting, and here is a monochrome. See that?
How do you do that on the Clip Studio?
Okay, here's the tricks of the trade. Okay, so basically I took that layer and then I went to change, layer, no, sorry, tonal correction. It's a few steps. If you want to really know and you really want to remember this thing, get a pencil and write this down, because you're gonna forget.
Yes, thank you.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, tonal correction. Then you go to hue saturation. So actually, let me do it in front of you right now, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna lift this up. Okay, so I'm just gonna repeat this right here. Okay. So here's the actual painting, right? Okay, so go to File. Oh, sorry. Edit, Tonal Correction. And And then you go to hue saturation. Lower it all the way until it's like a black and white. Then it's okay, right? So now you got a black and white, but since you want the brown tones, now you got to go back and do that tonal correction again, but now using color balance. So now we're going to take that black and white and adjust it. So adding red and then yellow. Pretty cool, huh? So there, you can add more yellow if you want, goldish color, more red color, and there, okay, you got it.
Thank you. The contrast between the light and the darks, we can technically change that sort of then.
Yeah, and like personally, I love what Jane sent us, with this image there. But I wanted it to go slightly darker. And so you can always manipulate that on the computer, so slightly darker. You can do things like that if you want. But I want to maintain a kind of goldish chiaroscuro feel.
Cool.
Because I know that when you go to a museum, you look at the original, but sometimes some photographer who puts it in a book, takes a picture and it's darker, or lighter. So it's kind of your judgment how dark and light you think it should be. Good job.
No, and then on the above,
But I just got an observation. So right here, maybe though you may need more, because you want to get that hair really good, right? But let's see what happens if I do eight. Let me see. So the higher the number, okay, so lower the number. So if you want to really go for it, look at that. We got 300. That will give you 1, 2, 3, like a map, right? It's like playing Battleship. You know where everything should mark, right? Or boom, the eye. So yeah, you just have to mark this down. Whatever you have here, then you gotta find some kind of system to put it over your canvas. And I think that if you draw it with a regular pencil, your paint is go right over it. I think so, especially if you've already started the painting. I don't know how much it'll grip. I've even gone in there to adjust little things like scraping something off where I put too much paint to get that angle just right.
Oh, great idea.
Whatever it takes to be accurate. There's combination of colors. See, so with a monochrome, it's not just exactly one color. It could be a few little colors working in harmony into the browns.
Yes. And you said Naples yellow, or is it Hansa yellow? Lemon.
Naples yellow.
Naples yellow.
And Hansa yellow is probably close enough. It's light yellow. I don't really use that color too much. And then yellow ochre is for lighter areas. It's a little bit more opaque than the raw sienna. And then this is the burnt sienna. And then burnt umber. And then black. And that's pretty much with that. I have all I need for the underpainting. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna hit these shapes here. Yeah, it's working really good. I don't know if what I did made any difference, but I'm just happy with what's happening with the way that black paint is going on. Dark paint. I don't know if that adding that stand oil really helped or not, or just the Venetian varnish. Venetian varnish medium, but it's going on nicely. So every once in a while, it's good to squint your eyes, so that you can just see the masses of light and dark. Big shapes. One of the challenges of this particular painting is working at a small scale, right? I'll do all this with small brushes. It's a little bit of an extra challenge.
Hi, Ed, I'm back.
Okay.
Sister Ortiz.
Sister Ortiz, is it touch to the dry to the touch?
Yes.
All right, then, okay, let's take a look.
See it.
Okay, where are you at again? Ortiz.
Ed, what is the color you're using? Burnt umber, you said?
Burn umber and black.
Yeah. I think I did the wash, but I think I overwashed. It overwashed a little bit, but that's okay.
I am reminded of a comment I heard from one painter that I admire. He said, remember, every stroke should be a drawing stroke. So never forget about drawing as you paint. Like right now, I am putting these lines and I'm still drawing, even though the pencil's been put away a long time ago. Always drawing.
So, Ed,
Yeah.
just a question, just so that I have a proper understanding, but different ones have asked me, he's in a cave, right? In this picture, in this painting? Jeremiah is sitting in a cave, right?
Well,
And he's
not necessarily, because you got architecture there. When do we have columns in caves?
okay.
Right.
Yeah, and
I
then
just wondered, is he looking out from the cave towards Jerusalem?
But we just said it's not a cave.
Petra Jordan.
So that pillar that's behind him, that sort of like that, right? Yeah, what would that be?
It's a column. So I don't know.
Column.
Maybe it's kind of like an arch out of the city. I don't know. It's
Okay.
for research on this, but it doesn't look. It looks like a cave, but the more you look at it, why would there be a column on a cave in the cave? I'm trying to redraw these areas here. these areas right here. And hopefully, you know, I guess I should start wrapping it up and just summarize to you all. So we talked about getting the drawing right. We talked about one of the options could be, you know, the basic, we did basic guidelines, right? But if we needed more detail, you can do a grid or you could even project. And, but we want to try to get that drawing right as much as possible. And then put a fixative or a sealant of some sort, like Sister Ortiz did today. And then start putting that monochrome painting, which is really a combination of a few colors that are all in the brown families, right? So it would have been like mostly raw sienna, burnt umber, a little bit of black as you go later. And that's about it, really. And if you want lighter tones, you can always go with yellow ochre and Naples yellow. And that's about it. As there's areas where it's kind of gold, then it goes into a little bit more burnt sienna. I mean, yeah, burnt sienna, a little more reddish. The burnt umber here, a little bit of black in the corner as you go. We talked a little bit about oiling out, sometimes allowing a layer to dry, and before you go in with other tones. But get that drawing right, look at the relationships of what's lighter, what's darker. And then once you kind of got it roughed in like that, then you can do what I'm trying to do here. Start going for some details, you know, like with establishing the actual lines nice and rich and clear. I worked a lot on the face earlier throughout the week. Now I'm working around these areas. I'm working at this. Here I actually went in and popped some lights because I know that really shines. Right here, I haven't done this yet, but there's some really nice bright lights here. So it's gonna have light here, light here, light here, and that's the brightest brights in the whole painting. And then once you kind of got that underpainting going pretty nice, then we're going to go into the color and start refining everything. All right. So the goal for from here to next time, hopefully we can have our drawings finished by then, and then put that sealant on, that fixative. Workable fixative is good, but that crystal clear is also good because that's acrylic based. Then we start with oils, okay? Okay.
And I have a question real quick. What you were just doing with your finer lines, you consider that still a part of your underpainting?
Definitely.
Okay.
Because I'm not putting any color in yet. I'm just making that a very clean, detailed underpainting, right?
Good.
So it's kind of like look at this. Let me show you an example. Let me show you an example. Okay, Rembrandt underpainting.
Wow.
Now, look at all the detail here.
Yeah.
You see? And put those details as you go. And then once pretty much detailed out as necessary, then you go in and start putting colors around there. You have a really strong map, a backbone to build upon. All right?
Yeah.
Can you add what you meant by oiling out?
Oiling out is getting a medium, like an Italian varnish oil painting medium, and basically putting it over an area. Like that's what I did here. Before I started painting these little lines, with a clean brush, I went over the whole, I dipped into that medium, and you can use a medium and a little bit of solvent with it too, kind of a 50-50, and that will restore your darks. create a nice slick surface to work on. You know, you want to keep it kind of thin, so it's not, you know, really soupy at all. You know, you want to just have a little film of that here. And now you can start painting over it. And
That's
that,
for your detailed line work, basically?
yeah, that's right around these areas right there.
Okay.
And here's the beauty. If you are using this particular varnish that I recommend, Italian varnish, oil painting medium.
Oh, okay. Rublev.
Yeah, Rublev. This is on my shopping list on Amazon as a link. That's all on the link where you can order these. That's from naturalpigments.com. But anyways, you have something like this that already has a built-in dryer. So when you work on an area, you put this on to oil out with, and then the next day it's dry.
Okay. Perfect.
It's really nice. I love that medium, like a gel. Okay, friends. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye now. I gotta stick with Emerald. So if you guys can disconnect, and that way I can talk to Emerald about a video recording.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Guys, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, they are.
Y'all have been doing great.